Fred Eldridge. You don't like it? The Trump administration announcing that it's creating a new assistant general position who will have nationwide jurisdiction on fraud. It's going to be run out of the White House with supervision from the vice president and President Trump. This as questions are mounting for Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and the state's Attorney General Keith Ellison after a bombshell congressional hearing that blew the doors off state lawmakers saying that Governor Walz knew all about the fraud early on and still did nothing.
When do you think Governor Walz knew about this fraud?
From the very beginning.
Were there controls in place in the state of Minnesota that could have prevented this fraud? And were these controls ignored by the Walz administration and by the Department of Human Services?
Absolutely.
Who's to blame for this dysfunction?
Well, the blame can go around quite a bit, but as Tim Walz himself said, the buck stops with him.
So all three of you have no doubt in your minds that Tim Walz knew about the $9 billion of fraud during his tenure as governor and did nothing about it.
Yep. The Democrats at the hearing didn't want to hear it, didn't ask many questions about it. They just went wildly off topic.
But let's remember that some of the worst fraud and corruption is actually found at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
I have legislation that will take Trump's name off that building.
Raise your hand if you oppose the pardon of George Santos.
The IGs have failed. But anyway.
You all have failed.
No.
You all continue to fail.
Yeah, we really made a lot of progress. Jessica, your thoughts about the fraud. Are you surprised that Tim Walz didn't just resign?
No, I'm not surprised that he didn't just resign so far, and we'll see where this goes with the Republican lawmakers who are just testifying. But he hasn't been accused by a law enforcement agency of actually playing any role in the fraud directly, though I do think it's obviously damning that there was clearly a culture of profiting off of government contracts. And I thought it was appropriate that he said that he wasn't going to run again for governor at the very least. And I don't think it does Democrats any favors to kind of poo-poo or talk down about this issue. And this is an issue that stole dollars from kids and vulnerable people that actually needed that money. And this happens all over the country. You know, I think it is an opportunity, almost like at the beginning of DOGE, before we saw how DOGE was actually enacted, to say, let's do this together. Let's look, it's a 50-state approach, right? Let's go through the books of every single state in this country and see where those COVID funds actually went, see what NGOs and not-for-profits are taking money that they're not entitled to, getting kickbacks from whoever, and let the chips fall where they may. Americans would appreciate it, I think.
So Ohio is doing their own investigation, and so is Texas. They're doing it. But it seems there's a reluctance for any Democrat to talk on topic yesterday. Why was that, Jesse? And did it disappoint you?
This is how they live. This is how they make money. This is how they remain in power. There's a whole industry of people defrauding the taxpayer and living large and then plowing it back into the Democrat political machine. They know it. Everybody knows it. And it's not just Republican lawmakers, Jessica. The nonpartisan auditor is testifying that once they got caught, they started forging documents to cover their tracks. Tim Walz's administration is caught in a cover-up, big time. He actually may have to resign before this thing gets started. And I don't know if we need to do 50 states. I think this fraud czar should just go to the states where Democrats are running for president. They should just go to California and they should just go to Pennsylvania, and that's how we should do it.
That's how much you're concerned with fraud, that it should just be the front runner. I get it.
But I know it's going to be really big in Maine, too. And by the way, it revolves around the Somali community in Maine, just like it does around Minnesota. You know, it's interesting what Jessica just brought up, Dana. This is kind of right up your alley. Is a Democrat going to use this as an opportunity to be bipartisan? And Ro Khanna kind of has. He said, I'd like a bipartisan look into California. A little bit selfish. He wants to run for president. So does Gavin Newsom. So they're sparring a little bit, but it is opportunity.
He's clever. He's like looking 3 steps ahead.
Yeah.
The hearing, when you had the Democrats bringing up any other thing, also what's dispiriting about it is that they couldn't just say, I give back my time. They wanted to use their time to say, I'm bringing up things against Trump, so please give me $20 to my campaign, and they probably fundraised off of that. Now, that hearing yesterday was the table setting for when Governor Walz and the Attorney General, Keith Ellison, are going to be called up to testify. And Tom Emmer, well, first of all, I think that Walz and Ellison will go on TV now and they'll talk about it. But I bet that they'll try to not show up to this hearing unless they're subpoenaed. And I hope that they are subpoenaed, because it's really hard to work this much and to think about they don't care about lighting your tax dollars on fire. And here today, you just have the governor of New York saying, guess what? For the mayor of New York, I'm going to fund your free daycare for 2 years. Like, have you not been paying attention to the news? What safeguards are there? And so don't get mad at me when I'm skeptical of free buses and free grocery stores in New York when you have all of this. That's kind of disgusting. On the Keith Ellison thing, I just really want to point this out. He's the attorney general of the state. He used to be a member of Congress on the Democratic side. He was pretty high up in leadership, decides to go back there. He is on audio tape and he's talking to the fraudsters. He says, I want to help you. They discuss how. They explain that they're being cracked down upon. He says, don't worry about it. As I'm going to use the power of the Attorney General's office to stop that, to prevent that from happening. A few days later, guess what? Pops into his campaign account with campaign contributions from those very fraudsters. And he gives that money back only after those people are indicted. So yes, I want to see him have to testify.
He's always been a problem.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.